Today what we're going to talk about is parking. So we get a lot of questions about how do I do underground parking, podium parking, how do I get the count, etc. So what I've got here is a project. We're in Palm Beach in Queensland. So we've got a nice beachside development here that I've mocked up sort of on the southern end of Palm Beach. And what I can see straight away is I'm currently in my urban tab on the right hand side. And I can see a bunch of information here, including my GFA, GBA, NSA, all very helpful information. But the focus of this video is to look at the parking. So I'm just going to navigate down the urban tab. I can see there's a little red dot here, and it's currently got 0 out of a required 1,685 parking spaces are provided. So this means I have no parking on the site, which is absolutely correct. And what I can see is that this parking number is being pulled from the number of apartments that I have. So currently, based on the floor area that I've built here, I can see that I currently have 1,385 apartments with the mix as suggested here by the breakdown in the residential. So what I want to do now is basically start providing car spaces allocation to bring this number down. So there's a number of ways we can go about this. And I'll just sort of rotate around the development here. So the first thing, if we go to the top, up to the drawing toolbar, and we select landscape here, I can see down here, there's an option for a car park. So we can select that straight away, but you've also got on the right-hand side, the methods of drawing the car park, which is worth mentioning. So if I select the polygon, it'll allow me to draw a car park in a polygon method. I'm just going to select it directly, which will basically default to a rectangular drawing method. So I'm going to draw my car park here, and you can see currently it's blank. It doesn't show a lot of information. There's no sort of line markings or anything like that. We do have that option as a flow, which I'll talk to later in the video. But this is just sort of a very basic usage and indicative of the area and the car spaces that you can fit within that allocated space. So currently I've got 1,000 square meters of car parking, and we can see on the right-hand side here that there's currently 30 now populated out of the required. So we still need a significant number more. And what I can look for is over on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of properties attached to this parking usage that I've applied to my site. And if I go down to the bottom here, there's parking and parking type. So this allows us to basically provide or alter the options and what we're looking for. So it's currently set as on grade, which is correct. But if I open this drop down, I can see there's a multi-deck option and an underground option. So let's split this up. So I'm just going to use X and splice this into 3 separate parking types. So we've got our on grade here, and let's make the middle one a multi-deck. So we can see that now that's populated and grown in floors. We can add floors with Q and A for shortcuts, or you can navigate over to the levels on the left-hand side. And with the final one here, what we're going to do is actually jump to underground. So we can do underground parking within Giraffe. However, we just can't visualize below the ground plane. So if I select underground, we can see it has changed, but we can't go below the ground plane to visualize those underground parking levels. But we can see on the left-hand side in properties that we're currently at 2. And if I look over on the right side, we're currently at 58 and at 2 levels. So if I start to increase that and we keep an eye on that number, we can see that slowly grow. So we know we've gone 5 levels deep underground, and we're currently sitting at 85 spaces. So that's the 3 types of parking usages that we have sort of out of the box within the drawing toolbar. And what I do is basically sort of try and spread that across the site with my parking. So I've got my site boundary here. So I'd be trying to allocate a lot of this parking under the existing structure of the building, as that makes sense. So just to explain what I'm doing here, I'm right clicking on the parcel because I want to create a parking usage aligned to that parcel, and then I'll start to bring it in. So if I see parcel here, and if I go down and create, so I'm creating geometry from that existing geometry. We're just referencing that. So we have the same metadata, area, perimeter, etc. And so now I've got that there. I'm going to go up to usage and we'll go to car park. So I'm going to change this into a car parking usage, and we're going to change on grade to underground. And so that way this whole area is now underground parking, and I can start to interact with that. So if we want to move this in, let's say like that, and then maybe we need to come in off the boundary. So if I sort of drag that in and we say, and I hit 3 on my keyboard, that allows me to offset that sort of 3 meters in from the boundary. And maybe that's allowing for deep soil or something of that nature. So you'd obviously sort of trace it a little bit more carefully underneath your building, but you can get the idea that now we have our underground parking. It is just a reference geometry that we have there. So I've got the levels, and if I start to grow these levels, let's say we're about 4 levels deep with the car parking, and I can see 770, so still a significant way to go, and maybe we need to go further than that. So, and once we do, so I'll just, for argument's sake, I'll just keep pushing it. This is a significant underground parking, but we can see that we finally cross over the 1600 required here, and it sort of turns green. So we can see we've hit that mark, and now we can start looking into that, or maybe we take a different strategy where we try and reduce and not have 10 levels of underground parking. So that's sort of the approach I'd take with underground parking. So the other option with car parking is to use flows, as I mentioned. So I've gone ahead and drawn in some car parks using flows. And as you can see, we can see the islands and the bays along with the aisles are all articulated and visualized on the map. So I'm just going to delete these two. And what we'll do is start from scratch and draw them out again. So I'm just going to jump up to flows. We're going to go down to parking. I'm going to grab car park that cuts and car park with islands. So first of all, I'll grab this one and let's just draw it here. And maybe we rotate that a little bit to fit here. And so we can see straight away that it's started to populate and visualize all of our bays, aisles, and islands. The left-hand side, we have the properties that control all of these settings. So if you've got a different parking standard or width that you're trying to work to within your local county or council, you can jump in here and completely customize it. So we've got up the top, there's the bay length. So you can jump in here and let's say that this is actually 7 meters. I'll hit enter and we can see that grow and it adapts with the algorithm. So it reassesses itself and sets out the car park. The bay width, so you can jump in here and start to adjust that as well. There's angled bays, road width, an island every 0 bays. So if we started to interact with that, and let's say we want an island every 4 bays, so we could see that island introduced on the outside as well as the island bays in the middle. So there's a lot of configuration on the left-hand side that you can jump in and customize this to suit your local regulations that you need to abide by. And then any adaptations or editing that you make, you can see it just adjusts dynamically, which is quite nice when you're sort of in that early stage of feasibility and configuring and trying to figure out a suitable layout. But knowing that the standards and the widths that you're setting are all in place while you do that gives a little bit of confidence. So the other option is the backup in flows. Go to parking, car parking with island. What we want to jump to is parking, car park that cuts. So if I toggle into 2D mode, and again, I'm just going to draw a rectangle on the second side. And we've got a very similar representation of what we created earlier. However, with this flow, what we can do is actually, let's say that there is a building or maybe a little kiosk or something for security for this car park. So we can jump up the top here, and I'm going to grab the, let's grab the commercial usage just for sake. And then I'm just going to draw here. And so we can see, adjust the levels. We can see straight away what it's actually done is cut out and adapt the parking based on what we've drawn. So that way it knows that we can't count any of the parking. And that's a good note to mention that everything that we've done with these flows is contributing towards our total count. So we've got 1,214, and you can see as I adjust this, we can see that that number is also moving, which is good. And then with the little security kiosk that I've created, if I was to drag that around, we can see the car park adapt to suit that. So I'll just drop it back here in the corner. And that way we can start to allow for exclusion zones as well. So that's an option. If I click on this, there's add an exclusion zone down here. So if I select this option, and let's just toggle into 2D, and maybe we've got the entryway here, you come in and we need an exit. So I'm just going to say, I want to exclude these parks, these bays, double click, and we can see that it has excluded this area. And so we can then start to really visualize some structure and get an accurate count as well based on that. And so what I want to do is actually create a special use zone. So let's say this area over here is designated as a priority pickup or something like that. I can select the flow. I can add a add special use zone. And then let's grab these. So as long as I'm sort of capturing or interacting with those bays, it will apply that part of the algorithm, which applies this hatch. And so we can see that that's some sort of special use zone as a priority pickup or delivery, or maybe accessible parking or something like that. So you can really start to get down into the details of your parking flow with this type of strategy. And so there we have it. We've got a beachside residential development with the parking, whether it's underground, podium, or on grade.